Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. We're going to take a look at how customers can maximize Business Central with Copilot. We've had a lot of customers asking for more information around Copilot, and it's a hot topic, and we're excited to dive in today. Everything available through Microsoft enhancements and also Power BI reporting with more reports available. As a quick introduction today, I'm Samantha Dallaire here with Center Technologies. I work with sales and helping customers with Business Central and Dynamics related applications. And joining me today is Steve Anderson, our solution architect for Business Central.
And I won't spend too long on the screen, but this gets to do with looking at data and then building your own list and then letting Copilot analyze it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and we'll do an example here with the customer ledger like I've done. So what happens here on the list page, there's an option here, like this is a list of everything that's happened with the customer, invoices, payments, etc., credit memos, whatever happened. But I can go in and I can do and analyze the list. So analyzing the list, you can ask it information. Again, there's little prompts here about, what should it guides you through what's the best way to ask for things. I'm going to keep this simple, and what I'm going to say is I just want to see customer, posting date. I want to see amount. Let's just go with that. Let's start real simple. So I'm just listing out some field names basically and hitting generate to get a simple list. Give it a second here. I could have put some additional qualifiers on it. But you can see it kind of started building a list, right? And it threw a few more fields on there because it probably thinks I probably want those. So the first thing that you notice here is, okay, I still have my prompt here, but it's built a different view of the list, and it also turned on the pivot table mode. So we're kind of talking about a couple things here at once. So this pivot mode, we're not in a pivot summary yet. We've got our list fields, and I'll show you in a minute how we can drag and drop fields on there like you would normally do in a pivot table. But what it's done so far is, again, I put in a little bit of info, and it said, here's the list. Now I can take this list and I can still do grouping. So like, for example, I can group by name. And so now I've got I'm analyzing the data, and I can kind of take it from here and be able to say, okay, what are the invoices for this customer, for the other customer? I can drill down if I want to, but it's starting to show me some data here. I'm gonna ungroup those. And you can do multiple levels of grouping. Again, it kind of looks like a pivot table. But I can go a little bit further. I've got this information. Let's say I want to see things that are only in March of 24. You see there's some posting dates at the top. So I'm basically saying this is really a refinement. So it's looking at the data, and it gave me, yep, I've got some stuff in 25. But you don't see any dates before my filter. So I'm just kind of filtering on the fly, right? So if I like this is kind of a way to build a query, to build a list, of course. To keep it means now I've got a list, and anytime I come to this page, I don't have to go through this whole process again. I can just come back in and I'll show you. Let's say I'm on my home page. Go back to my customer ledger entries. That analysis is out there. It's running the query. But it's a way to save queries as you build them so that you don't have to recreate this process each time. I don't know why that one's taking a little longer to run. We'll come back to that. Oh, there it goes. It finally changed the name. It's interesting it didn't show the name right here. Okay, but that's some way you can analyze the data. Let me stop that one, and I'm going to switch the view again. We'll go back to the next topic. So let me show you. Go back over here. So we did some grouping and things. Let's talk about the pivot tables. So you can have Copilot build a pivot for you. So you can see here I've got a prompt that says pivot on customer name, then document type, which is something we can do. You can use Copilot to do that, but Copilot kind of also works automatically with these ledger screens, these list screens, and I can actually go in on this page and I can hit there's a button here that just, it's still, Copilot's still involved, but it's basically taking this list. Here's the one that we worked with earlier, and I've got the pivot mode. So again, think of this like an alternative to you going in and exporting this to Excel and creating your own pivot tables. I know most of you accountants are still going to do that. That's great. We're all going to keep loving Excel. But if you want to do some of that here in the page and you don't want to spit it out yet, we can do this where we're using the pivots. You see there's some values in the sum, but I can hit the pivot mode. It automatically does the totaling. Or if I do the grouping, it will group these. Like if I drag the customer name down here on my groups, kind of the same thing I just did a second ago, right? So I did the groups, and let's drag the document date on here, drag these in, right? And so inside it, there's going to be a grouping by date. So this isn't necessarily anything that's magic, but it is a way to keep your pivot table concepts in BC, and I don't have, and I can go to Excel when I'm ready.